This is the story of my kickflip at the Eiffel Tower and the battle that I went through to get it. It took 3 days, 2 trips for 1 kickflip. Let's start from the beginning. I booked a trip to Paris for the missus's birthday, and as with any trip, I just had to take my skateboard along for the ride. So now in Paris, what was I going to skate? The one thing every skater has to do when in Paris is get a trick in front of the Eiffel Tower. What trick though? Well, that wasn't a hard choice really, was it? It just had to be a kickflip. I headed to Trocadero Square and got to work. I started out with some 180s to warm up, and then I moved straight on to the kickflip. This next one was the closest I got to landing it on this day. In real time it may have looked like a land. When you slow it down, you can see the toe touch. So, the battle continued. Not long after though, the rain came and I had to call it. It rained a lot on this trip. So after a washout of a trip to Paris, both me and the missus felt we needed to go back to complete our trip. My aim for the trip was to get this kickflip at the Eiffel Tower. I couldn't go back to Trocadero Square because it was closed off for the Olympics. So I found this spot under a bridge, which at first I thought was perfect. It just wasn't happening for me on this day though, at this spot. The ground was a bit wavy and it just threw me off. This was not the perfect spot that I thought it was to begin with. Plus, it was starting to get busier and I just had to call it. On my last day in Paris, on the second trip, I found this spot. It was quiet and there was a great view of the tower. Downside was the ground. It was rough as hell. But at this point, I just had to settle for it. The ground made the kickflip super difficult, but at least it was quiet, unlike the rest of the areas around the tower. finally, there it was, the kickflip at the Eiffel Tower. It wasn't pretty, but it was a land, and on this ground, any land was good with me. So like I said at the beginning, it took me 3 days, 2 trips, just to get the one kickflip at the Eiffel Tower. It was a battle, but it was worth it. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle, and hopefully one day I can make my way back to Paris and clean this trick up.